The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. The regular season has concluded, and now it's the chase for the championship. After 12 races, 12 drivers are ready to put themselves in the driver's seat, drive as hard as possible through all the pressure to try to get that prestigious Area Truck Series title. We head to the Chicagoland Speedway, which just put on a barn burner of a race in the Studio Temporary Cup Series last night. And let's hope that these tough truck drivers can replicate that for us here this evening. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of round number 13, which is the chase race number 1 here in Joliet for a 120 lap affair. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth, and in the truck, Hunter Sluppy here to help me out with the calls. Hunter, we have revitalized this Chicagoland Speedway finally. And it looks better than ever here on iRacing, and better yet, let's hope it races as good as it looks.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this one, the first 5 chase races for the Area Truck Series, and no better way to kick it off than at a mile and a half in Chicagoland. Now, very curious as to how this one's going to play out. I don't think I've ever seen a truck race here on the area side of things, so this should be something new. As usual, we do average yellows in the truck series. We've averaged a lot this season, but tonight we're looking at about 3 cautions on average. Could be different, might be different. Only time we went to a green-white checker was back in Season 6 when Sebastian Marin was kicking butt and dominating in the truck series. He took the win there. We've had a different winner each time we've been to Chicagoland. David Weishart Season 4, Jake Matheson Season 5, mentioned Sebastian Marin in Season 6, and then Brian Mercurio just a season ago, Corey. So the chase beginning, guys looking towards the top of the chart. You can see there on the left, Jeremy Miller currently the highest of those in the chase.
Of course, everybody who is in the chase denoted by their yellow tag under their name on our graphics package. And, well, I can't say the same about the trucks. The chase package has not been applied by all the drivers, but again, the ticker will give you that relevant information. There goes Garrett Conrad, the points leader, up 5th on the board here. And as far as I can see, outside of Cody Dempster, who hasn't turned a lap yet, everybody else in the chase has run their time. Here's Jacob Bell in the 77, the boss man, who has been, and I gotta give credit, I don't know his full stat line there, Hunter, across the 3 series, but I'll tell you, when he's racing, he has turned up the wick and been a little bit more competitive in recent weeks.
Yeah, solid top 10 showing last night in the Cup Series, so looking to replicate that for the truck side of things, see if he'll be able to dethrone the lap time from Zach Carr. I'm not sure if he will, judging from the predicted time, but it's going to put him deep ways in the field, 18th for the moment. Chris Seidenfeld and Brad Slaughter won last week at Talladega, and that put him in a chase position. So Brad Slaughter knows a thing or two about becoming the champion, looking to try to do it again, and this pole lap puts him 2nd, so he's the quickest of those in the chase.
We head back to Ryan Andrew, who won at Kansas, a pseudo-sister track to here, of course, built in the same year, inaugurating in 2001 here on the top-tier calendars. But let's see what he can do. Obviously not in the chase, but someone who could certainly dethrone those drivers, and he'll do just that, top of the board by a hell of a margin, 1/10 of a second.
Oh, that will be something to keep an eye out for, and that's right at the bell lap. Jacob Harbert, Trevor Edwards, they did not put down their lap time for qualifying, so that will be interesting to watch them work their way through the field. As far as I can tell from those that are, well, Travis Beckner has an EOL. I'm not sure if he qualified, so that's not going to be ideal for him. Looking at another one here that's going to have a penalty that's currently a chase contender, Hayden Swank. He's got an EOL. Ryan Andrew, we mentioned him. I think he was the one that just stole the pole. He has an EOL as well, so there's going to be a lot of guys that are dropping to the rear that are very critical for this race.
Now, of course, if you get the EOL and you qualify, you'll still get your pit selection, so you'll still be able to start, rather take your pit stop where you should have. Of course, you'll be running in the back of the pack. But we do want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. Of course, if it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit the like and subscribe button there on the bottom of your display. And if you're watching on Twitch, want to thank you for doing that. Consider hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel, $5 a month, custom emotes, double points. Turn those double points into some sweet rebranded area merch. But a couple minutes left. I don't think too much is going to happen. But if we just look forward there, Hunter, at what this chase lineup is going to be, rather the chase schedule, we are going to have a couple mile and a halves, head to here, and then we'll head to Charlotte. Obviously ending up at Auto Club, but we have 2 short tracks, and we know those are definitely wild cards, so good to take advantage of these intermediates where maybe a little more is in your control.
Yeah, Chicagoland definitely going to be a fun one to kick things off. Bristol, it's going to be a lot more chaotic than tonight's race. Going to be a lot more beating and banging, so we might see some tempers flare very quickly in that one. Charlotte, another good mile and a half. Very aged, very bumpy, kind of like Chicagoland, but it'll be fun nonetheless. And then North Wilkesboro, that's a track that we haven't been to in at least one season, maybe 2 seasons, but should be fun. And then we get over to Auto Club. Pour one out for Auto Club real quick, as always. That track, phenomenal. Doesn't matter where you go, doesn't matter what series you run. That track will be phenomenal to crown a champion. And yeah, looking through at some of the contenders that are going to be kicking things off. Garrett Conrath, he enters as the top truck driver. Enters 10 points above Jacob Harberts. And then Jeremy Miller, third in the standings. Cole Cabry, Trevor Edwards, Alex Chilcutt. Danny Ware is 7th, but he's the highest of those without a win to his name. Cody Dempster in 8th, which I don't even think we mentioned last week, but Cody Dempster, he blinked out on that final green-white checker and didn't appear. So that costed him deeply a possible shot at winning. He's still winless on the year heading into Chicagoland. Brad Slar, the next guy in line, he was the one that took home the win at Chicago, or, well, I'm reading too far into the script, at Talladega. Hayden Swank gets a playoff spot. Travis Beckner and Ryan Swan as well. They are all in, and I looked at it. There's 8 of the 9 teams with at least one driver that's contending for a championship this next coming weeks.
Absolutely. So we'll see who can definitely persevere, which team will get that team standings win, which right now Low Dollar Racing has a pretty sizable margin there, over 609, 59 points in the team standings. So we'll see if that does stay true. You did talk about North Wilkesboro. I'm almost 99% sure they will be racing, and throw the stat sheet out, because we'll be racing on the updated scan, which is different than the 1987 version, which likely they ran in years past. But with a minute left here, just cruising on through, something I'm kind of happy to see, Hunter. We are racing under the Chicago sunshine here, so that'll keep the track a little bit hot. Well, a lot of it hot, 121 degrees. Should lead to some tire wear, some comers and goers, and likely some great multi-groove action.
Yeah, top, middle, bottom, doesn't matter where you're at. There always seems to be a preferred groove at this racetrack. And, correction, all the grooves work. There's no preferred groove. Top, middle, bottom, you can run anywhere you want to. I'm not sure if we'll find a line where most guys will tend to run up on. If we do get some long green flag runs, we might see that, but I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case tonight. 120 laps slated for us, but the truck series, we know they like to be a little more chaotic compared to the other two, but should be a fun night of racing nonetheless.
Absolutely. And now it's Time none other than to go down trackside for our Central Mobile Homes starting lineup. Of course, if you're looking for a new trailer, shed, or floor plan, look no further than Central Mobile Homes, proudly serving Florida customers for 30 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plan shed designs and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. You can head to centralmobilehomesinc.com to get yourself some further information. But let's go down and give you that information on our starting lineup here today from Chicago. Ryan Andrew, Kansas winner in the photo finish. He's going to get the pole by almost 1/10 over Zach Carr. Next row, we'll find Brad Slaughter, our highest of the chase, and then Corey Bodie there in fourth in the number 44. Brian Noel in fifth with Danny Ware in the sixth position. Seventh, we'll find Garrett Conrad, the points leader, and then Jeremy Miller in eighth. Rounding up the top 10, Chris Seidenfaden and Bryce Senesac.
Over in the next row, we'll find Garrett Grant and chase contender Hayden Swank, going to be 12th. 13th, we'll find another chase contender, Ryan Swan, and next to him will be Grant Brown, starting 14th. 15th, we'll find Chase Swank in the 71, Joseph Swan next to him in 16th. Cole Cabry, Travis Beckner, a row of chase contenders. And then another one in Alex Chilcutt going to start 19th with Steven Oberstadt in 20th.
32 truck strong here today in Joliet, Illinois, with Ben Pierce in 21st. The boss man, Jacob Bell from Lokahatchee in 22nd. 23rd will find Jalen Handcamp, and then Josh Parrish, Pikeville, North Carolina. 25th, Forrest Smith with Zach Nerney out of Richmond in 26th. 27th, Jeff Wilson, and the, I believe, second lowest, Jacob Harberts. Should be fun watching him come through the field out of 28th. Rounding out the field, Trevor Edwards, another chaser, JT Poole, Cody Dempster, and Kyle Taub. Row 16 will be the final one here at Chicago.
All right. That's 32 trucks, and now we're going to watch the pace lap go and watch the trucks fall. Some that have EOLs, they'll fall to the rear eventually, but should be a fun night of racing. I'm looking forward to this. I've already seen a couple of Corey Bodie, Corey Bodie, my bad, and Joseph Swan. They already have black flags next to their name. I believe that was what is that a part of?
I mean, let's see.
They have drive-throughs. That's what that means.
Oh, that's that is the painful one there, because that is the one. I go back to the Kansas Speedway when we had I remember this vividly. Chase Cabry had a drive-through penalty. The race started off green for a very long duration. Never was able to recover, and then as soon as he got his lap back, he ended up getting in some carnage. So if this race does go green, those drive-throughs will put you right at, if not, one lap in arrears. But we'll see how the race transpires. Ryan Andrew, again, our pole sitter, he is going to drop to the back. So our pseudo pole sitter here on the evening is going to be chase driver Brad Slaughter.
Yeah, it puts him in a really good position to kind of take control of things and lead it off. I mean, last week he had the dominant truck at Talladega. He led the most laps, and it seemed like if he didn't win, it would be a shame, but we don't have to say that because he got it done, got the win. Been a long time since he won, but glad to get that monkey off his back right before the chase begins. Some much-needed momentum, and could be a very strong contender for the championship.
Absolutely. We'll see as it all starts off now. We will get a second lap of pacing here in Joliet. Of course, the track here, which iRacing denotes as 1.53 miles. iRacing denotes their track distances based on the racing line. So apparently the defined racing line is a little bit bigger than what we advertise here, but the defining feature of California Speedway, of Chicagoland Speedway, is that there is effectively no straightaway here. Again, that famous curved backstretch here. And if you like racing trivia, of course, I think it was 04 when that inflatable Tropicana ball interrupted someone's qualifying here. But good times here at Chicago. Glad this track is back, hopefully for more than one season in the real world, but glad that we will have it here on iRacing for a great race tonight.
Yeah, and I'm already looking at this because I wasn't here for last night's race, but I can already recall there was no safer barrier along that backstretch wall, and it was just covered in brand signage.
Yes.
And it was orange from about turn 2 to turn 3. And I know that was a trouble spot for some of the guys in years past when they wouldn't know how far they could go because of the color orange and where the safer barrier ends. So we don't have to worry about that, and we have to worry about getting everybody home safe and sound for 120 laps of racing. Pace truck off to the infield. Brad Slaughter going to lead the field. The green flag, and the chase is underway in the Area Truck Series.
We fire off here, off of the get-go into corner number 1. Hole shot to the number 81, Brian Noel, in the 7 will also clear, as well as Garrett Conrad. First on the outside, going to be Danny Ware in that teal and white car. Somebody in the fence, I think it was Jeremy Miller, kissing the turn 2 wall right off the jump here. Hopefully no aero damage, as Slaughter seemingly losing the lead to the 7 off of the first lap.
And it looks like he might lead the first lap. I think Slaughter got it that time through. Brian Noel coming through on the bottom, and then we got Garrett Conrad trying to take away that spot on the outside lane, and he'll do just that. So going to merge in the line. The first 3 trucks are single file. The 44 and the 18, they're serving their drive-throughs as we speak. And third going to be trying to be up for grabs. Whoa, Senesek in the 09 got loose there. Now he's going to lose a couple of spots. There comes Seidenfein, Cole Cabrey, a chase contender, as they fan out 2 or 3 wide on the front stretch.
Now that is something we saw in the real world that is well replicated here in the sim. Although this is not a 2026 laser scan, the bumps were very defining and still are. We saw drivers hit the bumps the wrong way in 3 and 4 in the sim, wash up the track. We saw drivers self-spin in the sim and in the real world. So you'll see that right there. You can see those trucks undulating through the bumps as Senesac to the top. Ryan Andrew trying to work through all the way up to 12th after his EOL. And you can see right at the top of the shot, those are those drive-through drivers who are just going to be driving everything they have to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, you have to in this case because you don't know how soon it'll be. So we're looking through. The leaders are coming through, and a couple of trucks on the bottom. Well, a few trucks on the bottom, I should say. There's 1 or 2 trucks right on the outside, and that 99 of Chris Seidenfein, I want to mention him because he's had a really down year. His best finish, though, it came from 1.5 miles in Las Vegas at 12th. He had a really good qualifying position in 9th, and he has made up a lot of ground in the short run, and he's got something going on that outside lane. And he might actually contend for the lead here, and he will. I'm not sure if he hit Slaughter's bumper or not, but door-to-door into 3. Seidenfein in the 99, going to go low, try to clear the 81 of Slaughter. He'll power it in the middle, trying to stay along his quarter panel. He'll do just that, and I'm not sure who's going to lead at the line. It's going to be close. It's actually Seidenfein who got it that time.
Now, you have to wonder, short-term reward, long-term gain. Is Seidenfein going to be able to sustain on the long run? He shot out of the cannon, as we saw in Brad Slaughter, up 3 on the day. Seidenfein started 9th. He's drove his way up to 2nd and going for more up to the top of the track. And that is a trend we tend to see. The drivers who use the top of the track tend to wear the tires out as that lane gets rubbered in. So hopefully he can sustain, but I see some crazy racing in the back. I think that's right around perhaps Jacob Harper. I see that teal truck. No, that's Alex Chilcutt. Still getting used to that scheme. And still a lot of pack racing side by side, swapping around.
Yeah, swapping around outside the top 10, and even inside the top 10 here, as we got some trucks looking low, looking middle, looking high. That being the 20 of Swan, looking to the outside of Ryan Andrew in the 88 truck. And solid start so far for the 20 inside the top 10. And then in front of them, oh, it's going to be, oh, got a little close there. The 7 of Brian Noel, he led the first lap, but he has fallen a bit back. He's outside the top 5 now, going to lose a spot to Swan, and the 54 of Cabrey came up in front of the 20 and got him a little squirrely there, but he's going to power through in that middle lane. Meanwhile, that 14 of Grant Brown, he is rim-riding the outside lane, trying to Larson line it. I'm not sure if that was a strong method used last night in the Cup race or not, but trucks, there's at least one guy who's trying to do that.
It had its effect in the short term, but very easy to make the mistakes. There's a lot of bumps there on the outside, but if you can nail it right, again, there is speed to be found up there. And I do want to point out that nice new paint scheme there for the Rick's Hot Sauce Mobile of Ryan Swan. I don't quite know if I don't see the design company on it, but whoever painted that truck did a bang-up job, looking pretty sporty there. But going back to the front, Slaughter still enjoying the lead. Seidenfaden has dropped back by not much, about a car length. But then here we go, Grant Brown closing in and making a move on Garrett Conrath. We're really starting to see some different drivers up front here. Seidenfaden and Brown starting this race off strong.
As we see the battle for third continue, the 14 of Grant Brown, he's going to be looking on that outside of Garrett Conrath as we see the two lap trucks that are in front of the leaders. They have yet to catch them, so the lap trucks are doing their best to stay in front of the Slaughter and Seidenfaden battle for now, as Conrath now going to jump to the outside and Grant Brown going to look low. Meanwhile, the battle for fifth heating up between Ryan Swan and Jeremy Miller. The 20 looking high, the 30 keeping his line low. It's actually the 20 is going to look middle and might clear him, and it looks like he will. So Jeremy Miller will tuck back in the line. The 20 of Swan up to fifth.
Yeah, so we'll see. You got Ryan Swan having a great day as well. Always tend to see, at least in every chase that I can remember, across the board, you know. Obviously, in the real world, they're doing the playoff brackets and the in-season challenge and all that kind of stuff. But there's always one driver who kind of bats above their normal range, and we'll see who that may be over the course. Maybe it's Ryan Swan, but here is Garrett Conrath to the inside Seidenfaden. Is this Seidenfaden's teetering on the seesaw? Or maybe he tried too hard in the beginning and now might be paying the price for it. Here is Conrath, and soon to follow, Grant Brown.
We'll have to keep an eye on both the 99 and the 14 because they have been pretty much the main guys that have been using that outside lane for a good portion of the run. And the 99 is going to stay in front for now, but mentioned those two, they're running the similar lines, and Grant Brown really nowhere to go. Just kind of give a momentum boost to the 99 truck. Meanwhile, in the back, you saw the 30 of Miller get around the 20 of Swan. And then you're looking at the top 10 on the left. The pylon is lit up with yellow galore. So we have 7 of the top 10 in the chase, and Chilcutt right underneath the 54 of Cole Cabry. They had a little bit of contact through 1 and 2. Chilcutt not clear as Cody Dempster's there on the outside with Ryan Andrew looking behind.
Oh, some connectivity issues for the 54 as well, as we do have the battle for second still continuing. Conrath trying to make something happen on the bottom of the racetrack, but again, it's a little bit more difficult. Now he got squeezed down there on the apron, lost his entry. Grant Brown thought he was going to look in the middle there, and he is doing that, getting clean air on the nose as the 99 not getting a good run off the corner. I think Grant Brown got loose into the 49, opens the door for Jeremy Miller and Ryan Swan 3 wide entering turn 3.
Yeah, big for our chase contenders as Swan is all the way up top 3 wide. Conrath coming up into the 14. Really close on exit, but Swan's going to get around both of them. The 14 and the 49, they're dropping to 5th and 6th. Actually, here comes Cole Cabry on the outside trying to get that spot away. Meanwhile, second, it's still heating up. Jeremy Miller looking to continue his push forward. He's going to come up on side and fighting clear. Chris down to 3rd. Here comes Ryan Swan down to the inside, looking to take that podium pain position away.
And I just saw that on the back bumper, on the back spoiler, Sleppy Motorsports. So Hunter is just absolutely gasping here as Seidenfaden's in this quite sketchy bubble of drivers all the way down to the flat. Is Cole Cabry, Grant Brown. Now we've brought Ryan Andrew in, and basically the entirety of the top 10 being put together here again by Seidenfaden, starting to struggle. You can see him getting yawed out and loose off the corner, and as is Grant Brown. Maybe he's not loose, but he's now in the middle again of 3 wide.
Yeah, Grant Brown, he's trying to do everything he can to get around that 99. Ryan Andrew right behind him as well. They're going to touch coming out of 4. That seems like the tires are starting to fade a bit on the 99 as he's still on the outside, but he's now outside the top 5. The 88 of Andrew, the 14 of Grant Brown, trying to get by on the bottom. Meanwhile, behind them, you see the dark 24 of Cody Dempster come through. Chilcutt's still on the bottom, and Conrad's still trying to find his way in the middle, but you can see if you don't get the run on that outside, you're going nowhere.
Absolutely. You can see how that rubbered-in lane has already come into play. 4 different lanes at play. That's Alex Chilcutt to the bottom. That's Forrest Smith in the 15. A little connectivity issues. Chilcutt all the way down to the bottom. We're 3, 4, however many wide. As Chilcutt really low, that's not a good corner entry. I don't think much is going to come out of that move, but oh my goodness. I mean, we were at Talladega last week. Hard-pressed to try to duplicate it here right now. Oh no!
Oh, there goes Chris Steinbiden. He's going to spin coming out of 2, and that's going to bring out our first yellow of the night.
Well, luckily, I don't think the budget will be too detrimented at Sleppy Motorsports, because I don't think he hit anything, but obviously a less than ideal situation there. That racing was crazy. Let's try to sort it out here if we can. Oh, there was contact that put Dempster into, that's Forrest Smith. And it's hard to tell, but it was a chain reaction deal of someone got into somebody else who pushed someone into someone else, and Seidenfaden just got the short end of the stick.
Indeed, as that will bring out our first yellow of the night, and probably going to see everyone come down on the pit road again. This is a surface that has not been repaved since the track opened back in 2001, so tire wear going to be a big concern on the drivers tonight as they come down for their first pit stops of the night.
Now, last night in the Cup Series, obviously we did have 20 more laps of racing, so there were some decisions to be made of when to take tires, when to stay out. We saw an interesting fall-off cycle. Now, we'll see what translates here in the Truck Series, as it does look like a cloud has gone over the speedway. That'll facilitate some grip there, but I imagine, again, 20 laps in, you have 4 sets, 3 more to play with, probably 2 pit stops for fuel. So I think everyone's still comfortable with what they have for Goodyears, but we'll see if anybody does anything cheeky. 4 tires for most. Looks like Slaughter will still remain the leader. Jeremy Miller second, and Ryan Andrews second. So went from an EOL to almost back to where he started in 20 laps.
Yeah, big spots gained on pit road from Cole Cabry, Garrett Conrath as well. Swan lost a few positions there. Grant Brown, Chilcutt, Handcamp, don't think we mentioned him tonight. Trevor Edwards inside the top 10 now, just from the battles off pit road. I'm looking through at some of these guys with their pit times. I'm looking at Brian Swan. Well, I'm looking at Handcamp too. He took 2 tires, so that's probably why we haven't talked about him tonight. Well, so taking 2 tires to get up inside the top 10.
I'm right on a fence here because I do know that I think it's like 9 seconds per tire. So 7.7. That's either the fastest 2 tire stop or that's fuel only. I'm not quite sure, but we do have our admin call on that incident. They are applying the 2 incident penalty to the 15 of Forrest Smith. So we kind of said that there seemed to be kind of a domino effect of contact there, and seems as though he is the one that pushed the dominoes over. But be interesting to see how this works out, because we have, if you look at that top 5, Slaughter, Andrew, Miller, Cabry, and Conrath, that's 5 of the fastest guys currently in the Truck Series here in the primo positions.
Yeah, and I was just looking through at the pit lane times, because Ryan Swan was 3rd when the yellow came out, jumped down to 6th, 39.1 in the pit lane. A lot of guys around 38.4, 38.2, low 37s, or high 37s, I should say. So I'm not sure if there was an overslide in the pit box or not, but actually he had 14.9 seconds in the pit box, longer than most, so maybe that was the cause for concern. But nonetheless, less than 100 to go from Chicagoland. Brad Slaughter going to bring the field back to green flag racing with Ryan Andrews on the front row.
And on the lock pedal, there they go. Andrew going to try to fall back in for second in front of Jeremy Miller, and he will miss it by a whisker here entering the corner. Miller not going to give him the space, and he's going to send him sideways. What a save there. Hopefully we all blend through as everyone tries to find a way around.
Phenomenal save from the 88 of Ryan Andrew. Not sure how that didn't result in a lot of cars wrecking, but he's going to have to go from the back to the front again, this time under different circumstances from the replay. And I could tell because the 30 made a move as soon as they were going into turn one. He knew he was down there, or he knew that he was going to make his move down there and just contact with 88 and just incredible save from Ryan Andrew.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I want to give that one a Ricky Rudd Save of the Race award, but it was right there up for the tally there. But anywho, hopefully no damage to either one. I think that contact was low enough speed that I don't think necessarily anybody has contact. Actually, let me try to get a tight shot of the right front. No, that's just kind of the fender well there on those Silverados. So Miller should be just fine. But do we have a battle for the lead now? Is Ryan Swan? Never mind. Brent Brown and Jeff Wilson seemingly having an issue of some sort. Oh, this is an issue of some sort. Brent Brown crab walking up the track. They ran out of space and never saw a truck almost blow over from that perspective.
That was JT Poole. That was right below the 17, or the 14 truck, I should say.
Yeah, you're going to see that 14. He was just loose through the bumps, and he was just slowly crab walking up the track trying to get it saved. 85 into the wall there. So that's going to be a tough one for Advent. I think that one may be a racing deal. We'll see. Because, I mean, technically the 14 got loose, but the 85 did put himself in the wall. So we'll see what the call is there. But whatever the call is, our second caution of the race.
Indeed, as that will bring the field to a slow, shouldn't say halt, but a slower pace. But Ryan Swan, we mentioned it. The third when the yellow came out last time, fell down to sixth on pit road. Got incredibly lucky there that there wasn't a big wreck with the 30 and the 88, but was able to drive his way up to second. Now, it looked like on the first few laps of the run, maybe you can use the tires a bit more to your advantage and try to preserve them before we get into the longer stint. The longest we've had so far is, I believe, about 18 laps or so, but something to point out, just looking at the restart, and something to keep an eye on for the next one.
Absolutely here. And something that I always do is I always try to focus on Ryan Swan when we talk about Rick's Hot Sauce, and usually it has to be kind of a forced segment because sometimes things happen to him in the other series, but there, it's on full merit here. So you can check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces in South Florida, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, South Beach Heat, and of course somebody will win that Rookie of the Year battle in the Monday night campaign with the $100 Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year award. Head to rickshotsauce.com, and another good run for a Sleppy truck hunter. So you gotta have yourself excited, but also quite fearful right now of some of this racing that we're seeing.
Yeah, there's still a lot of laps left in this one, so nothing is set in stone yet. The only thing that we can attest from this is that the 81 trucker Brad Slaughter has been the truck to beat once again so far in the early stages of this one. I think they got the one to go. Yes, they did. So I'll have to pay attention to the leader and how they go on this restart. I really didn't look at the last one because I was so busy looking at Miller going low. I would assume you would have the advantage as the leader, being you can control whichever lane you want. Seems like the inside lane is going to be the lane to use on these restarts. So Brad Slaughter choosing to do that. Swan going to have to try to manage it from the outside lane.
Yeah, the outside lane is certainly where you want to be, but the inside lane is typically better on the restarts. The geometry equation comes into play where you're not fully up to speed entering one on the get-go lap, so geometry says you can run flat out on the bottom. So you kind of want to be there, but once you head to 3 and 4, certainly that outside lane comes into play. But who will get the jump? Cole Cabry, definitely know that 54 isn't going to play no slouch. And as we saw, Jeremy Miller ain't given any favors either here in race 1 of the chase. But we'll come into that Poet restart zone. Slaughter trying to go back-to-back. Ryan Swan trying to get his first win of the season on the loud pedal. Let's try it again. Lap number 29.
Cabry had a bit of a intriguing restart. I'm not sure if he had a bump from behind or not, but he is going to be underneath the 20 of Swan for that second spot. Seems like he got a really good launch, and now we're going to start fanning out 2 wide, 3 wide before these guys settle back into turn 3. Slaughter loving what he's seeing, though. Everybody else is door-to-door behind him. And the 20 of Swan coming up with a run on the outside lane, going to challenge for that lead as Jeremy Miller's looking to follow right behind.
Yeah, here we go. 3 wide, blending up the track. That was very sketch for a moment. Chilcutt had to really get on the binders there as he blended up off the apron, nearly into Cabry, backed off. Now Zach Carr and coming into play here. And then Garrett Conrath, who has not shown the pace sustained. He's had moments, but I'm sure he might just be being patient. And then Travis Beckner, who we haven't talked about. He's in this gaggle all the way in the 11th spot, but only 3/4 of a second off the race lead.
Yeah, Travis Beckner looking to, hello, Jeremy Miller coming through on the outside lane. Not sure if Swan was prepared for that or not. Tried to come up like he was clear, and it almost was disastrous, but he's going to stay in front for the time being. And we got a truck spinning in the back of the picture. That's going to bring out another yellow. It was the 15 truck spinning around.
We'll see. Again, the pack racing is obviously going to be susceptible, it's a hard word for me to enunciate, to some issues, and he's at the top of the track. 71 to the inside. That's Chase Swank. Parrish, I don't know how he didn't get annihilated there. A couple small little impacts off of that as well. Yeah, the 71, that's Chase Swank there, who kind of, well, I guess, did 71 use too much space, or that's the...
Not sure if he knew he was clear or not.
Yeah, that's the admin call there. We'll see what happens, but that'll be our third caution of the race here, 30 laps in. Now, we don't necessarily have any fuel numbers privy to us. Last night it was around 70 laps. I'd be hard pressed to say that it's not in the 60s. We do have some takers towards the back of the field in Bodie, that's Nerney, Kyle Taub, Danny Ware, and a few others. But we're at basically 90 to go, so even a stop here, you're going to need one more to make it to the end, so probably can't contemplate your final stop till 60. And we haven't really used much tires yet, so.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what everything... Wait and see how everything goes in the race. But a lot of yellows in quick bunches, so can't really get a good look at the long run pace of any of these trucks like we did in the first 15 laps or so.
Absolutely. So still interested to see all these other drivers up front in the field. Again, Ryan Swan, who is a chase driver, entering the chase from the 12th spot. 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s here on the season. And other drivers here in the top 5, Zach Carr in the number 27 truck. He's only run 6 races this season, but what he has run, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, so not a surprise to see him up there. So we'll see what does come into play here, as we do expect 1 to green. There it is. We'll get doubled up, stacked up once more. And hopefully we can get ourselves a little sequence, because I'll tell you, that first 20 laps was pretty entertaining stuff before the onslaught started.
Yeah, it was great to watch the the comers and goers throughout that first stint, but we have yet to replicate that, and I'm hoping that we get to see that once more as Swan's going to be restarting as the leader, going to be the control truck, and Jeremy Miller is going to be the one on the outside lane.
Now we know what it was like when he was on the inside of row 2, which is where the 7 is, and historically, obviously the leader is going to get the best jump because they can time it themselves, but the inside of row 2 tends to be where you want to be, but I'm actually struggling. It does look like Miller is our control vehicle from the outside, or is it Swan? It is Swan. So we'll watch out, see what happens here. Entering the Poet restart zone. I still have no idea what Poet is. Someone tell me what it is in YouTube chat. But on the loud pedal back going, Swan with the advantage. Can the 30 drop in the line? No, he's going to actually side draft and actually get a good run at the end of the straightaway.
Yeah, didn't really get a good jump, that 20 did, and he's going to have his hands full with Jeremy Miller behind. Brad Slaughter in that outside lane as well, so they're looking 3 wide behind them. Fanning out down the backstretch. Miller's going to have the run, and he's going to have the advantage going into turn 3 as Slaughter's going to give him some momentum push. So they're fanning out 2 wide, 3 wide. Here comes the 27 of Zach Carr looking to the inside of Brad Slaughter, making it 3 wide in the back. Meanwhile, at the line,
we're wrecking. Danny Ware.
It did not bring out a yellow.
Yeah, he's far enough back. Again, the algorithm of what constitutes a caution obviously was not met here. Let's try to find out. That was hand cam to the outside. That was a presumably 35 thought he was clear, and I think Barney maybe he was right there, but I think he just maybe he was sneezing and didn't see that caution, but that wreck. But either way, we continue green flag racing. Jeremy Miller, our race leader.
Yeah, Miller looking to take control, got around the 20 of Swan. Meanwhile, 3 wide behind them, Carr on the inside, Slaughter in the middle, and Cabry on the outside. That 54 truck with the momentum. Slaughter staying with him, the 7 of Noel coming through. Ryan Andrew in the 88 truck, making his way back towards the front once more. Garrett Conrath in that 49 truck looking to follow the tire tracks of the 7 on that outside lane, as is Travis Beckner. As we see the field fan out on the front stretch once more.
And I know our other commentator here, Brad Dalton, always hates these tracks where you can go on the dog leg, on the apron in the tri-oval. And it is, Hunter, it is quite a risk to do that. We've seen at Kansas, drivers actually get loose doing that. But it also creates that situation where you blend up the track, and sometimes you meet in the middle, other times you really hurt your corner entry. It could be a risky move.
Yeah, absolutely. And the blending line, whenever you're coming through on the front stretch, it's really going to be challenging. I mean, we already saw once tonight on the restart with Jeremy Miller and Ryan Andrew. And, by the way, Ryan Andrew has made his way inside the top 5, so he is closing in. But behind him, they're 3 wide again. Conrath, Carr, Beckner from top to middle, and now the 27 going to send it in on the bottom. Going to look below Slaughter in the 81 truck, trying to take that spot away. He'll have a good run through the turn, but on the front stretch, you can see the momentum it carries on that, outside lane. Conrath right behind the 81 truck with Slaughter going into 1.
I'm still waiting to really show the 60 here and have him get through the field. Alex Chilcutt started the race down in 19, so he is up 10 on the day, but we've seen drivers, start lower on the grid than him and, have more forward progress, and maybe just taking a little more conservative of an approach, or maybe just doesn't quite have the vibe here at Chicago. Alex Chilcutt 6th in the points with a win on the season, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s. But door tap up front. I think that was the 7 and the 88 there entering 1.
While jockeying for position right around that 4th spot. Andrew's going to hold on to that. Noel swerving a little bit down the back, going to hold on to 5th. Here comes the 27 of Carr on the outside with Slaughter looking low. Out the rear of the 88 truck. The battle continues as, meanwhile, up front, a couple laps ago, we had a change for the lead. Ryan Swan, the new man leading at Chicagoland, and setting sail, currently 2 truck lengths from the 30 of Jeremy Miller.
Absolutely, Ryan Swan. And we'll take a look here at that pass for the lead. just a few laps ago. I just had it on my screen here. It is... Well, actually, that's not it. This is it. Yeah, he just went right around like two trailer park girls. He just went right around the outside of Jeremy Miller. Not a move that you expect to see, but again, just because you do it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to help you in the long run. We've seen tire wear by those drivers who run the outside definitely have issues late run.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing on the short runs. Like within the first handful of laps or so on a restart, you can really send it in a little bit more and try to maintain your pace later on. But if you do that lap after lap, it's really going to wear on the tires. As we're looking back here at 81 of Slaughter trying to stay inside the top 10. Meanwhile, Hayden Swank looking to crack the top 10. Trevor Edwards in the 32.
Oh, wow.
Josh Parrish, Cody Dempster, and they're getting squirrely. That's the 32 of Edwards that nearly lost it there on the outside, and we're bottlenecking up. Here comes JT Poole with some help from Garrett Grant down the backstretch.
Yeah, 3 by 3 entering turn 3. Parrish ripping the outside. Trevor Edwards struggling through the bumps. Don't know who he had contact with, but did a great job to save that vehicle there off of the corner. Now down to the flat. Cody Dempster merging up to JT Poole in that Ford Ranger. They'll go 3 wide. This is just outside of the top 10, but heading back up front, Jeremy Miller is closing back in, trying to take a stab at the race lead and bringing Ryan Andrew into play here.
Yeah, the 88 truck, I mean, he's probably been the fastest truck of the night. He just has not been able to have enough track position to do so, or time. But he's closed in on this group here with Ryan Swan leading, Jeremy Miller in second. Miller going to look low. Swan going to give him that low line, instead choosing the run to middle lane. And here comes the 88 of Andrew on that outside lane, looking to generate a run. And the 30 is going to look low. The 88 thought about looking lower. They're actually going to go on the outside of Swan through 3 and 4. Brian Noel closing in as well.
Yeah, interesting that the 20 gave the top, which we've talked about how pivotal that line is. Interesting that the 20 gave him that lane there. Maybe he got hot sauce there, kind of crossed up with where the 30 was actually going to run. But that'll give the lead back to the 30. And now Swan will suffer the spot to the 88 as well as no. Once you lose all the time, once you lose that momentum here in these trucks with these lower powered engines, it takes a while to get it built back up. First, fourth in about 2 laps.
Yeah, rolling through on that top is the 88 now, looking to try and navigate his way around the 30. These two have had contact before, and not sure if we'll see contact again, but behind them, inside the top 10, Cole Cabrey running in the 6th position. 7th is Slaughter, looking to take away that spot. Garrett Conrath again behind this, just looking at this unfolding. And Alex Chilcutt, I feel like he's been 9th this entire time, trying to get around the 49 on the outside. And Travis Beckner rallied for a top 10 spot for the moment.
Yeah, the 60 just hasn't really had the sustained pace. Just hasn't sliced and diced through the field. And also a quiet day for Travis Beckner. And of course, his weekend's a little quiet now because the summer hiatus there in the Hendry County Motorsports Park due to the summer heat. You can check him on August 29th at the very fun event that they're hosting there, putting flashlights on the cars, turning the lights down, demo derby, all that fun stuff. Head to henryracing.com for all tickets and all of your details. And he is in the 9th spot.
We're looking through. Currently running 9th now, getting around Garrett Conrath in the 49 truck. Meanwhile, outside here for the 15th spot on back, it is chaos. This is Ben Pierce, Josh Parrish, door to door for the 16th spot. Garrett Grant trying to get around the outside lane. Battles galore here behind the pack.
Yeah, I bet this is all about 15th on to say the 20th, actually even further than that. I think the last truck in line here, probably Senesac, Jacob Bell. Not too far back is Jeff Wilson. So this is really about 15th to almost 30th. There's Chris Seidenfaden back in the 29th spot. Remember, he was very competitive. Had that spin, somebody in the grass. That's Chase Swank and Kyle Taub doing some agricultural assistance work. And we will stay green.
It's been a while since we've been to Chicagoland in real life, so got to trim the grass up, and this is how it happened as... Well,
71 ran out of room, just kind of washed up the track and did a great job mowing the grass there, keeping it straight, lost the track position, but more importantly, you have a truck in one piece.
Definitely one way to do it as positions are being up for grab here. Ryan Andrews is now the race leader. Brian Noel coming through in the 7 truck looking to take second away. Meanwhile, we've got pack racing here, Corey. It's chaos from 4th on back. Carr has moved up to 4th. Swan down to 6th. The 81 of Slaughter moving up to 5th. Cole Cabry once again in the 6th position trying to get around that 20 of Swan. Tire wear is starting to fade for some of these front contenders, and everybody else behind that's been preserving. They're making their way towards the front as Jeremy Miller looks to get around the 7 of Noel on the outside again, but really sending it on that outside lane. Here comes Zach Carr coming out of 2.
Absolutely crazy stuff, and I am just I'm not just gasted, I'm flabbergasted, because as you just saw, we're off 2 seconds of pace. And as we showed you in practice, we'll show it here in the race. We have a ultra toasty, almost like a Quiznos sub, a toasty track temp, 124 degrees. This is not easy driving conditions, slipping and sliding over the bumps, and to still be able to do this in pack orientation definitely is something that these drivers are really having to get up on the wheel for. And there's Jeremy Miller starting to lose control a little bit, opens the door for Cole Cabry, and now look at who's in the play now. Travis Beckner just said he was running kind of meh. Now he's up there, and now Alex Chilcutt showing that late run pace. This is where he wants to shine, perhaps.
Seems like those that are making their way towards the front have been preserving the tires to a T. Looking at Ryan Andrews, Zach Carr, Brian Noel, those guys, they're not contending for the championship. They're just going at it to try and win. And that's the best case scenario for those guys to get around the chase contenders. Jeremy Miller, though, trying to get around them back. Gets around the 7, looking to have a run on the 27 of Zach Carr, but Travis Beckner we saw try to make a move or try to make a block. He's looking below the 7 of Brian Noel, trying to get up to 4th, and Cole Cabry once again running the top, trying to stay ahead of the 60 of Chilcutt there for the 6th position.
And that's something that kind of we're talking about with now Brian Noel going down to 4th as Jeremy Miller kind of breaking that non-chaser sandwich. You talk about it a lot in the old elimination style format where drivers didn't want to be that guy and they didn't want to get in the way of the chase battle. We're not seeing that, and I'm happy to see it. Of course, you want to see respect, and I'm sure maybe at Auto Club drivers will be a little bit more cautious, but we're seeing everybody racing at 100%, no chase favors being offered here. Everyone is going full bore and putting on a great show.
Yeah, it's been fun, and this is why I love Chicagoland, the long runs. So many different lanes you can run in and try to pass people, the comers and goers, and it seemed like the 30 of Miller was going to be a goer, but it looks like he's coming again right around to the inside of Brian Andrew, trying to get a peek at him for the lead. He's going to settle back in the line. A lot of guys running towards the top now as the preferred groove starting to widen out just a tad bit. It's a 30 once again, looking top, but nothing there. Brian Andrew controlling the pace here at Chicagoland as we're near the halfway point.
Just about 35 minutes of racing if this race does go green to the end. And in terms of where we stand on the fuel sequence, 37 laps in, so I would estimate that probably from right around here they can make it to the end. And if they have the confidence, as here goes Miller with the dive into 3 under Andrew, can he clear? The answer is going to be no. I say this many times though, Hunter, if the drivers have confidence in the race to go green to the end, we're talking about 2 seconds a lap of fall off. There's a lot of time to be gained by making an early stop, but you're putting the gamble on whether this race is going to run green.
Oh, Miller got on the wall a good bit there coming out too. Here comes Zach Carr looking low. That's going to be a costly position there as he's going to try to look lower for the lead, but couldn't get enough there. So he's going to try and come up, but does not have the run. Meanwhile, Cole Cabry in the 54, he does. He's just going to follow the 30 of Miller, and he's going to look for that podium spot on board with the 54 here heading into 1, and he's going to be looking middle, somewhat clean air, try to find a fine balance in between the 2 lanes, and Travis Beckner looking to go with him down the back.
Let's see. Cabri has been one of the few to rim ride the top here in 3 and 4. And of course, because I was expecting him to, he's going to run the middle. That's just kind of commentator's curse there. But running through the bumps, you can see him fighting that wheel, and he's getting the solid run off the corner. Now he's looking high, trying to get to that right rear quarter panel of Miller. And Miller knows it, and he's going to have to leave him some space, and he's going to pinch him on in there. And again, not running the wall, so I wonder perhaps if the grip is starting to run away on that top line, and they're having to search through. And here's Beckner to the bottom 3 wide.
We have 3 wide now for third as Zach Carr with the run on the outside. Jeremy Miller going to fall all the way down to 5th. Cole Cabri up to 2nd, though, with a massive run on that outside lane. He's going to have his eyes set on race leader Ryan Andrew as we are officially halfway through Chicagoland, the first chase race for the Truck Series Championship, as Ryan Andrew takes control. I think he's led close to the most laps as far as now. I'm not sure. I know Slaughter led a good portion of it. 11. I know Slaughter's led more, so he's nearing that at this pace. He'll be able to eclipse that, but the top 12 you can fit within about 1.4 seconds of each other, almost like pack racing like Talladega, except there's no bump drafting. Everyone is a little more spread out. We saw the blue truck back there at the top of the screen, JT Poole. He's kind of broken away from the gaggle of cars behind him, and he's closing in on this pack now, about 1.4 seconds shy from them. And there you see behind, just he's in no man's land. He's got a pack in front of him, he's got a pack behind him, and really just on cruise control right now.
Yeah, in terms of lap time, he's running comparable laps to those in the pack up in front, and he's running faster than the guys behind. So he'll keep pulling away, but probably stagnating that gap unless they keep getting at it, which they appear to be. And who's getting at it? Cole Cabri going for the race lead, driving down to the inside, doing the Chicago slider dog, moving all the way to the top. Opens the door for the crossover, and the side draft at play. That's going to bring the 27 into the mix. Can he go Bob's your uncle and get them both at the same time, Zach Carr?
All right, Andrew's going to send it deep into 3 and 4. Going to come up on Cabri, but he might try to cross him over on corner exit, and he will. Threading the needle with Zach Carr there. Cabri's still going to lead up the line. The 27 coming through with a strong run. Ryan Andrew as well going to block that. Try to generate that run through 1 and 2. The 54 comes up. Here comes the 88. Jeremy Miller joining the party, as well as Travis Beckner.
And it's just all juicy stuff here as the 27 might be in the primo position. They left the open top lane for him. Cole Cabri trying to run the middle. Andrew going to run the bottom of the track, slide up. 27 should have a run. There it is. Does he have a place to go with it? He barely did. I think Cole Cabri just gave him a favor there. I don't even know if there was space.
I mean, sideways coming to the line. He led that lap, and I mean, unbelievable fashion he did. And now here comes Travis Beckner and Miller. They're door-to-door all the way up near the wall. Unbelievable run from Beckner. Meanwhile, here comes the 49 of Garrett Conrath. He's joined the top 5 party. He wants a sniff at the lead, and Ryan Andrews coming back. He's going to slide up in front of Zach Carr, and Carr going to look to generate a run to possibly cross him over at the line. It'll be close, but no, Carr led that time too.
Absolutely, and the most, again, to reiterate, this is on almost 50 lap old tires. This is on 2 seconds of fall off on a hot racetrack. And here is Garrett Conrath. We said all race he hasn't really been showing the pace, but he apparently has that long run truck, and he's using it right now. He's going to have to dial some short run truck into it for the end of it, but he's going to take advantage of it now. Try to go underneath Cole Cabri. Doesn't have the run to the bottom. Here's Cabri with the push to Andrews, who's going to try to squeeze a gap on the top.
Wiggling and wobbling is the 88 truck as he's trying to prevent the 54 from doing that. Conrath looking low, trying to see if he can get up near the 88 truck. And throughout all this, the top 9 have kind of broken away from Brad Slaughter, Ryan Swan, Brian Noel, and JT Poole has caught up with those drivers now as they're doing battle behind. But Travis Beckner rim riding that outside lane, going to get a strong run off turn 4. At the line, it'll be Ryan Andrew, but here comes Travis Beckner looking to make his name heard as he's on the outside. He had to back off there heading into 1. A big loss of momentum for the 28 truck.
Yeah, the gap was not going to be there. Cole Cabry certainly not going to do a favor twice and leave someone space there. So he shut the door, and now we are back finally for about 0.6 of a second, I'm sure, down to single file racing. Ryan Andrew back to the front. He feels like he's led more laps than he's had, but again, Garrett Conrath, our points leader, into play. Alex Chilcutt, he's finally into play. Trevor Edwards, so now a lot of yellow taking over our ticker here. Only Ryan Andrew, the leader, and Zach Carr in that yellow and white 27, breaking the stranglehold of Chase drivers.
Trying to do just that as here comes the 54 of Cabry looking low. Trying to send it into 3 and 4 with the 88 truck. Just, I mean, controlling the race. Doesn't matter which lane he runs. He's doing a good job of keeping everybody behind for the time being. Garrett Conrath going to give him a bump down the front stretch here. Massive push. Beckner sees it. He's going to try to follow them into one. Try to replicate that as well. A lot of trucks in the middle or outside lane. Conrath looking on the outside. He'll be door-to-door with Cabry down the back.
And that was a sketch move, at least from my non-driver seat perspective here, seeing someone basically bump draft through a fairly sharp turn here in the tri-oval at Chicago. But down to the inside, here's a good run by Conrath. Now they're going to meet in the middle here, be door-to-door photo finish if that was the white flag. But Conrath needs to clear. I expect a diver. And the 88's going to pinch him down, not allow him to do it. But Travis Beckner is going to ring around the rosy. He's going to have a head of steam, and he's going to have to send that head of steam to the back bumper of the 88. 54 will give whatever shove he could to the back of the 49.
Yeah, he had to check up. Otherwise, that was going to be disastrous there for those guys. As Beckner still looking top, trying to get around the 88 and can't find anything there. But he's going to follow his draft down the front stretch and try to do what he can do there. Meanwhile, the top 9 all within a second of each other. Brad Slaughter there in 10th, just a few truck lengths behind this pack as they continue to do battle from the bottom to the middle to the top of the racetrack. Still led by Ryan Andrew.
And we are now 52 laps into our fuel stint. They can make it to the end of the race. Now, it's a gamble, especially in this kind of racing, to pull the trigger, but the gamble is played. Zach Carr gonna bring the pit game to life here on lap 73. Slaughter to his rear. We talked about it's almost 2.2 seconds of fall off right now as Travis Beckner, he's gonna do the Chicago slider to the top of the racetrack and opens up the crossover once more. Garrett Conrath licking his chops there in 3rd.
3 wide for the lead going into 3. Andrew on the bottom, Beckner in the middle. Here comes Garrett Conrath on the outside lane, trying to keep it through and through. We'll have a great run on the front stretch here. Gonna look high on the front stretch. Look high going into turn 1. That caught the 88 by surprise. Cole Cabry gonna follow the 49 over into turn 1. Alex Chilcutt behind, and Garrett Conrath looking to take this 49 truck to the lead.
We do have some pit stops to point out. Trevor Edward, JT Poole, Cody Dempster, they were kind of tail end of that lead pack or in the second one as we now come to what is 45 laps to go here. And here we come. Here's a sequence of drivers peeling into the pits here. That's Andrew, that is Beckner, that is Miller, and Garrett Grant as well. So this is basically going to have to draw these drivers in immediately or else face a significant time loss.
Yeah, looking to see what the rest of the truck drivers do.
Is Cole Cabry out of gas?
He might be.
Oh my goodness. That was not on the bingo card. Cole Cabry, I believe, is out of fuel. As here comes Conrath and Chilcutt and I believe Hayden Swank as well coming in. And that will leave just a few to the front of the field. And that was right around 60 laps, for about 57 laps or so, I should say. As what a gaggle we have on the back straightaway right here.
Yeah, this is a good mixture of guys that have pitted and new tires blending in with those that are on cold tires just now coming out of pit road and trying to blend back up with the field. And I mean, it's just absurdity as to who's running where, because it's a mixture of guys on the lead lap and guys a lap down or so trying to navigate their way back towards the front.
Yeah, so right now, Zach Carr, who, again, he started the pit sequence off. He is right here, and his next realistic competitor is Ryan Andrew, and that gap is about 1.5 seconds. So that's the difference in what is essentially 2 laps. Now, will that mean enough to bring him back into the swing of things? Well, we'll find out. But here's some more stops. Grant Brown going in deep along with Corey Body there. Still waiting for the cycle to continue. You can see Jalen Handcamp, Jacob Bell, and a bunch of those drivers with the 46 next to their name, they can go longer. They pitted on one of those subsequent yellows. So they have maybe another 10 laps in, just praying for a yellow to kind of go off strat and take advantage of the situation.
Oh yeah, if the yellow comes out, this changes everything with the running order and where guys were once running and being thrown into this predicament.
It's Bodie in, here's Senesac, so we are starting to peel off here, but still Handcamp up by 2 seconds on Jacob Bell. And again, we follow that battle, which will be for the lead at some point. I talked about being 1.6 seconds a little bit ago. It's already taken a half a second now. That's only a matter of 2 laps on the tires, but you have to imagine Zach Carr trying to take it easy to have something to play with. This is a 40-plus lap run.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on here as Handcamp coming down to pit road. That's going to cycle the 77 of Jacob Bell to the lead and going to get a bonus point for leading that lap, as is anyone who leads a lap tonight. And that's very crucial for those that are contending for the championship and bigger for leading the most laps. You want to get another bonus point for that as well. So the 77 is going to come on down. And I think Kyle Taub will stay out.
Yes, he will, as well as Seiden Fadden. Remember, he was up front. Did he actually formally lead a lap earlier? He led one, so he did get on the stat sheet there. And 99 had a great run until he was a sideways there on the back straightaway. But going back to what will be the battle for the lead here after the cycle does complete, we do want to talk about another one of our area partners here with shop.areairacing.com. Again, you can check that website out for high-quality merch at low prices. Check out their selection of hats, t-shirts, Adidas clothing, and other accessories. Easy to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. Head to shop.areairacing.com.
Looking on through. Nerney, Joseph Swan, Danny Ware coming down pit road. Have yet to see the 56 and 99 come down to make their final stops of the day, but that's going to cycle everybody else up through. Zach Carr, Andrew, Trevor Edwards now inside the top 5 as there is the 56 truck of Kyle Top, still looking to find a yellow to put himself back up front.
Yeah, they are 18 seconds up on the rest of the pack, so they will not lose the lead naturally. There's not enough time left for that to happen. But speaking of not enough time, Zach Carr does not have enough time being the effective leader, although he is the leader of the pack right now. Here's Ryan Andrew on those 2-lap fresher tires. And you got to give credit to that number 32 of Trevor Edward, who has put himself higher on the pylon than he's been. A couple other drivers, Beckner, Jeremy Miller, a little bit further back than they'd like to be, but still within touch of this pack.
The 99, the 56, they've come down pit road, and now everything is going to cycle through. So Ryan Andrews going to be appointed the race leader with Trevor Edwards, Zach Carr, Chilcutt, and Travis Beckner inside the top 5. And mentioned JT Poole, he caught up with a couple of guys from that front pack. Throughout the pit stop cycle, he's jumped up to the 6th position.
Yes, he has. And again, I'll just bring up on the ticker once more. You'll be able to see this is the sequence of when each driver pits. So the lower the number, the better the tires. And look at Alex Chilcutt. And I just repeat my sentence that I've said many times. He has been running 10th all race. But here he is with the freshest tires, or some of the freshest tires in the field. and in second going for the win. You go back to Garrett Conrad, that black and red truck, well back in the shot. He's 8th right now, but again, 2 to 3 lap fresher tires. How much will that matter over the course of 34? Gotta stay tuned and find out.
We'll find out as the night continues on. The race continues. Ryan Andrew, this has been about the calmest that these guys have been so far.
Absolutely, and we're going to take advantage of this. This is a risk. We know temporarily loud engines here on PTR TV frequently causes cautions. We're going to be optimistic that we can do this clean and green. Let's crank up the engines and enjoy the temporarily loud engine. All right, we made it through a temporarily loud engines here in race number 1 of the Area Truck Series. 120 laps at the Chicagoland Speedway. Corey Silva in the booth and in the truck with Hunter Sleppy helping me out with the calls. We have, may as well, we won't play the game here today. Our race recap brought to you by Blue Tip Pool Builders. 3 cautions for 10 laps here, 20 lead changes. And I don't know the exact lap of the last caution, but we are on a significant length of at least, I'd say, 60 laps of green flag racing here with only 28 laps to go. Alex Chilcutt, who started the race in the mid-pack, 19th, was running 10th-ish all race, has now taken the lead and has some of the best tires in the field. Just goes to show, just because you're fast in the beginning of the race, or slow in the beginning of the race, so to speak, doesn't mean that's how it's going to end out.
Yeah, absolutely. You were wondering for the most part when he was going to come through and finally make his presence felt, and looks like now is the right time to do that, as he's taken over as the race leader from Ryan Andrew. Meanwhile, third up for grabs, Conrath on the outside of Travis Beckner. The 200 County cars going door to door and letting each other in line, as the 49 is in third, the 28 is in fourth. Jeremy Miller currently running in the 5th spot. He's had a solid night so far. Trevor Edwards running in 6th, JT Poole in 7th. Zach Carr, Brad Slaughter, and Hayden Swank, they currently round out your top 10.
In terms of our chase drivers, of course, denoted on our graphics package with the yellow highlight, the lowest of such is Danny Ware right now. He was involved in one of the skirmishes. I think it was a skirmish that didn't cause a caution, but he was involved in it nonetheless. He is currently dead last of active drivers, still on the lead lap, but he entered the chase 7th in the standings, 25 back. This is certainly not going to help his cause out unless he can get himself a reprieve with a caution, which I kind of don't want to see, because I want to see how this plays out. I know you weren't here yesterday, Hunter, but the way that this worked last night, there was a lot of fall off, about a second and a half. But then it leveled out, and then after about maybe 25 laps, the tires were all the same, and you saw guys who fell back manage to work their way through the field, and I'm kind of hoping or wondering if we're going to see some of that here today. Chilcutt has gained a gap, but Andrew, Conrad, Beckner, Miller, I can't write them out quite yet.
Yeah, only a handful of races where we did not finish with a green-white checker. All the mile-and-a-half races we did have overtime, so not out of the picture just yet. We're currently on a streak of four straight overtime finishes or green-white checkers in a truck race, at least one. Chilcutt leading the way through. Here comes the 49 of Conrad, looking to take over the second position from Ryan Andrew in the 88 truck, and trying to do that, but he's going to open the door for Travis Beckner to take that spot right back. 28 will have a run, and he's going to settle in the line here going into 3.
Yeah, but now Beckner try to get that clean air on the nose. You can just see the bumps. We've talked about them, but we really haven't showcased them. What these drivers are dealing with predominantly through 3 and 4. In the real world, you see entering turn 1, there's this little rectangular patch right there. The drivers had a massive dealing with that. Doesn't really affect you in the sim world as much with that little work they did, but the tunnel of this racetrack is in turn 3 and 4, and everywhere there's a tunnel, Pocono, we hear it, Texas, wherever there's a tunnel in a racetrack, it makes it bumpy, and just watch these drivers just up and down through 3 and 4.
Yeah, a lot of bumps here through the Chicagoland racetrack, especially through 3 and 4 there, but these guys have been able to navigate through that finely for the most part. Travis Beckner, meanwhile, looking a little further back here.
Something
the 54. Yeah, we mentioned that I think he ran out of fuel.
Oh, yes. That's what it was. So
ran out of fuel coming to his pit stop, and that really derailed him because he was a top 5 truck. He was contending in that group, and then he simply ran out of gas, and it just kind of has not gone well for him since.
Yeah, I just wonder if maybe under one of the cautions he short-fueled it, because, again, nobody else had a problem. So I wonder if he short-fueled it or didn't take fuel on a caution to save a few seconds. And obviously, never mind. Well, speaking of the devil.
Oh, that's him.
Man, that is
85.
Jeff Wilson. That's his second time he's been involved in a situation here today, but this one not of his own doing.
Oh, all right. Well,
I don't need Windex, but that was clear as glass.
So they were the only 2 involved in that, by the way.
So this will kind of do what some races have had happen, Hunter, where we've had these truck races have a really good middle, but now we are going to have, presumably most drivers have 2 extra sets of tires. So now we're going to have freshies with about, let's say, 16, 17 laps to go. Pack racing, chase. Nothing will go wrong here. We're going to see some solid racing, and here they come in for what may or may not be their final pit stop.
Might see some 2-tire stops. I wouldn't be surprised because it is the chase, and some guys are towards the back outside the top 10. Wouldn't be surprised if they did that, trying to move up a few positions because...
Oh, Beckner bad to back up.
That's huge.
Yeah, that'll certainly cost him on the stopwatch there and lose some positions. I don't see anything cheeky going on thus far. There's Chilcutt peeling out. You saw him just jab on the brakes. I saw that truck just nose dip there, trying to get everything he can out of that pit speed limit. But exiting the pits, it will be Chilcutt. And just looking at
most took 4.
Yep. Because you figure, I think that was about maybe we pitted right around maybe 70-ish, so that was about a 25 to 30 lap run. Now, if we have another caution, say puts us 8 to go, 6 to go, something like that, I certainly Would expect someone to do something cheeky here, but it'll be a good reset for some drivers. We know that we've seen some comers and goers. We've seen drivers better on the short run. Well, now everyone's better on the short run. Unfortunately, Chilcutt and Conrath we haven't really seen them in the short run. So I imagine they'll be able to get their giddy up on, but they haven't been in this spot in this circumstance.
Yeah, and we haven't seen JT Poole up here either. He's been mid-pack or towards the back for most of this race, so it's going to be very interesting how this restart unfolds, and I can only assume the amount of chaos that we're about to ensue, because you know what they say about cautions? They do breed cautions.
Yes, they do, and as you've said with the stats, typically in the truck series, we use a lot of green-white checkers, and usually we use more than one. So will that be applicable here today? I do want to say, just to say it, let's not forget, however this race ends, we had some absolutely badass racing here today that I am proud to say that we covered. So I don't know how this race will end, but we're going to make sure that we remember the positive, because we saw some phenomenal stuff as we come through 3 and 4 to get ready for the restart.
Absolutely phenomenal racing all night long. Looking to have some more here in the closing stages of the first chase race for the Area Truck Series. Looking to crown a champion in Season 8. Restart back underway as Chilcutt works his way through the gears. The 88 of Andrew did not get going. 49 of Conrath and 27 of Carr looking to get good, strong runs through 1 and 2.
Chilcutt will get the advantage and get his ideal line choice into the corner, but then he opens the door for teammate Garrett Conrath to the bottom, and now Zach Carr. Remember, he took the lead, and he was on older tires. Now he has a reset. He's back in the mix, but Jeremy Miller, someone who we know leaves nothing to be had, he's right there as we're 3 wide off of the 4 for the lead.
An incredible battle here up front as Chilcutt leads through Ryan Andrew door-to-door for second. They're side-by-side throughout the entirety of the field and rolling out through 1 and 2. The 60 going to get a strong run. Miller with a strong run as well. Miller, actually Poole going to get in the wall there. It's a little bit squirrely. 5th on back.
Yeah, we were 3, nearly 4 wide as the 82 hit the wall in the back straightaway. Now still 3 wide. Handcamp getting loose through the bumps, as I believe was Swank. Everyone does manage to survive here. Again, fresh tires with not many laps left here in this event. But we carry on green, and up front, Alex Chilcutt hanging on. Ryan Andrew trying to get another win here on the season. Late entry into the Area Truck Series, but trying to make his presence known with win number 2. But Chilcutt, we are interrupted by another caution. Oh, I saw. That's
sheet metal flying.
That's going to add to the budget.
The non-budget that is for Slipping River Sports, as we'll look at a replay to see what happened. The 99 decided to find was involved, and we'll have to see how he was a part of this yellow.
Oh, there was just a big checkup, 55 in the 3.
Oh.
And somebody else also had a little inkling in this event as well. Going to make out who perhaps that was. Down to the inside on the backstretch. 44, Corey Bodie. He just lucked out with a little minor spin, but Seidenfaden did lose the left front fender piece of sorts there, but this should not be enough laps for pit stops. We barely rubbed the sticker off the tires there. But that will put us probably down to now 11 laps to go. And we do have a heat cycle. A couple drivers pitting in the back. Again, kind of insignificance, but, you know, never know what they can get out of it. But it is a heat cycle, Hunter, so the way they fired off, there might be a little change in handling for this next restart.
Yeah, there very well could be. And we've seen it through the early portions of the race when we had a couple yellows early on, and on those restarts, it seemed like for a couple of laps or so, you could really push the tires to their limit and make it stick, make it work, and make moves. We'll see if that's the case again. But it's going to bunch the field back up, and we already saw the carnage with 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. Might try to fit 5 wide in on this next one if we find a way. I'm not sure if we will, but so far, Corey, it's been a phenomenal race, and kind of expect it at this point, if we get a late yellow, that it's just going to breed carnage and carnage. So many cautions as well that go with that. So I'll have to bear in mind that as we're coming down to the closing stages of this one. Again, the only time we've had a green-white checker or an overtime finish back in Season 6. Sebastian Barron came through, took the lead late in the going, and was able to get away with the win.
And that's why, again, as you said, with Chaos, I do want to... I've been told by people to think positively and take positives out of all situations. So, again, I'm going to hold on to the positive that the middle portion of this race was just utter badass racing. However, this does come to a conclusion. But, of course, we had the Cup race yesterday, truck race here today, and we will continue the Chicagoland tripleheader on Thursday night with the Florida Estate Builders Pro Series as they start their chase off in the O'Reilly car. So that'll be a fun one to watch. And then next week, we will be headed to Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. So if you want chaos, go head into the High Banks short track there in Tennessee. But will Chilcutt be able to hang on? Basically, everybody in the top 5 is someone who very easily could win this race. But to be honest with you, anyone in the top 10 could win this race. Pack racing, we could have ourselves a Talladega-style big one with how tight these guys are going. So who's to say who will be in position to win this race as we come off of 4? Coming to 11 laps to go here at Chicago. Alex Chilcutt on the front row along with Ryan Andrew in the restart box. And let's get it going again.
Oh, Brad Slaughter jumping up on the outside lane, and a bunch of guys doing it in the back as well. It's going to create more chaos going into 1 and 2. Chilcutt just going to watch it unfold behind him. Got a good gap between Jeremy Miller and Ryan Andrew behind as the field works their way 4 wide in some cases off the backstretch.
Yeah, this is where it gets scary, is entering turn number 3 here through the bumps, and we are back under caution.
Well, we might not get enough laps to see how this one goes. I think that's Jeff Wilson at 85 there.
I didn't really have any definitive... there it is. 18 of Joseph Swan.
Oh, those are teammates.
Yeah, right in front of the boss man, perhaps off the back bumper of the boss man.
All right, well, that's going to trim down the laps for Chilcutt. Enjoying every bit of this, and this is kind of why I mentioned about taking 2 tires when we had a yellow closer towards 20 laps to go. I felt like we would get caution after caution, and the more cautious we get, the more laps we waste under caution, and not enough green flag laps for guys towards the rear to try and make their way towards the front. So if you're taking 2 tires, that would put you in a better spot for the track. So I'm really curious as to some who are mired back that didn't attempt to do that.
Yeah, and now we're at the point where many drivers have an extra set on the wall, and as few laps as we've run green flag, I don't know if maybe the 2-3 combined laps at full speed will warrant coming in to put that last set on. So I think your bed's kind of made right now. You got what you got, and it's about getting that restart. We've seen turn 1 and 2, you want to be on the inside, but as soon as you get to 3 and 4, you got to protect that outside lane, because if you can get the run on the outside in 3, traditionally, you're going to be sitting pretty here. It'll be interesting to see if Chilcutt does keep the inside lane for the control, but we got to go back early in the race. Remember the last time Jeremy Miller was P3 Hunter, we had an interesting exchange in turn number 1.
Yeah, him and the 88 of Ryan Andrew, and that set Andrew back a good bit, but he was able to make his way back towards the front. And late into going, it seems like it's fate that these two are up front and going to be contending for the win, possibly, as Chilcutt looking to get his chase off to a good start with a win. The 88 of Ryan Andrew, not a chase contender, so he's just looking to get wins at this point in the season, and you could do that against a chase competitor or competitors as he's surrounded by. That'd be phenomenal for him. We saw the 30 of Miller. He's had a top 5 truck easily tonight. He's looking to put himself in a good position, and the 60 is going to choose the outside lane to restart in, so we could see some deja vu there between the 30 and the 88. But Garrett Conrath in the 49, he entered as the points leader, and he is looking to reclaim what is his, as he is the defending truck champ, looking to go back-to-back, and starting pretty good inside the top 5 there. We see Zach Carr behind him as well, looking to have a strong showing. Brad Slaughter as well. Early in the going, he was pretty good, and things have kind of faded off a bit for him, but he is up here in the mix in the top 5 battle.
It'll be interesting. You have to imagine the 60 and 49 will have some kind of teamwork collaboration or time this restart, but after that teamwork coordination on the restart, it's go time. Both of these drivers in the chase wanting their slice of the championship pie, and you can't help your teammate out when you want to take home that singular championship trophy. But heading into the restart box, leader on the outside, that is the 60. Ryan Andrew to the inside, restart in the air, and I'll say from that perspective, looks like the 88 got himself a jump. 49 not connected to the back bumper. This might backfire for Chilcutt.
Yeah, he did not get going at all. Jeremy Miller gave a good push to the 88 of Ryan Andrew. They're going to be side-by-side for the first few positions as the 60's looking outside, and looking low is the 81 of Brad Slaughter. Jeremy Miller, they're going to be 4 wide going into turn 3. The 81 going all in, and they're going to make contact. Ryan Andrew's going to get turned. JT pulling the wall. Here we go.
Wait, we're not wrecked. We're still going. Somehow, against all odds, we stay green flag after that little 4-wide exchange, but all the while, we were already deflated, getting ready to call the caution. There it is.
That might have been the longest to ever bring out a yellow that I've ever seen in my life, because that started up front when Brad Slaughter went 4 wide, and it just kind of bottlenecked his way through, slowly but surely, towards the rear of this field. Jeff Wilson, Garrett Grant, into the wall, bringing out a yellow. Now we got overtime.
Yeah, let's try to go back all the way there and try to find that 4-wide call. We'll just kind of let this restart play through again, because it was Slaughter there. We're under caution. Don't expect any pit stops here. 60 and the 49, they were not connected, and that was huge. Gave the 88 a run, but here is Brad Slaughter dropping all the balls here to the bottom of the track. They're 3 wide, now they're 4 wide, and now we're just living on a prayer.
And then it was contact between the 30 and the 88 again. It kind of started all this. And the trucks were just doing their best to avoid wrecking there. I mean, unbelievable driving from these guys, as long as they could do it.
I almost want to give the Ricky Rudd Save of the Race Award to the entirety of everyone who was in that coagulation right there. But let's try to get a scheme here. I believe we are going to be set up. This is lap number 117, so I believe we'll get 1 to green this next time by. So we're setting ourselves up for what should be a regulation green-white checker. So it'll be 2 to go, but still within the 120 lap scheduled distance. Meaning if everything goes asunder, we have 3 attempts to rack and stack again.
Yeah, holy cow, that really shook a lot of things up. Because now Ryan Andrews further back. Brad Slaughter is in third, but more importantly, Jeremy Miller is in second now. He was also a part of that 4-wide mixture. He has jumped up to the second spot. Slaughter in third, looking to get himself another podium-paying position. The 32 truck, he has worked his way towards the top 5 as well. That is Trevor Edwards and he's been in the back for a good portion of this race, but he's been able to work his way up through the field whenever necessary. Garrett Conrath only fell down to 5th. Jalen Handcamp back into 6th. Cole Cabry, he was a lap down and almost out of it, but then the yellows happened, and he was able to navigate his way through the chaos, and now he's in position for a possible top 10. Hayden Swank as well. Grant Brown, Ryan Swan, these guys looking to have a solid showing to head out of Chicagoland.
Absolutely, and still Danny Ware going to be the lowest of the Chase drivers back there in 26. No longer in the back. We have had Brian Noel, Jeff Wilson, Zach Nerney, Chris Seidenfaden, and Forrest Smith all but out of this race. So attrition certainly playing a deal there. You can see on the ticker there, Beckner and Dempster, they're within the teens. Beckner, he was going for the lead at certain junctures in the race, but obviously this utter chaos and just complete hornet's nest of activity has thrown things a little bit upside down. But again, 2 laps to go. This is still within regulation. Chilcutt to the inside. He obviously didn't like that sequence, and he doesn't have his teammate. He's back down to the inside as the control vehicle with Miller to the outside, Hunter.
Yeah, it'll be an organic green-white checker attempt. So the 60 is going to be the control truck leading his way through, and starting to get stacked up, but the first 3 trucks get a pretty good jump. Miller and Slaughter door-to-door as Chilcutt leads the field into 1.
Brad Slaughter trying to get a gap on the bottom of the racetrack. Jeremy Miller trying to run that momentum, get it going up on the top of the track. And here's Cole Cabry going well deep to the bottom, 3 wide, trying to get himself back into the top 5. Here comes Jeremy Miller with the dive. Slaughter looking there to the bottom. Will we make it to the white? Looks as though we will. Miller and Chilcutt to the line, coming to the white flag.
We're wrecking coming to the line, and big hits there as I think we got through.
We made it.
The white flag's waving. They're door-to-door for the lead. Chilcutt on the outside. Jeremy Miller looking low. They're 2x2 and 3x3 behind, but it's going to be Miller and Chilcutt going at it for the lead into turn 3 on the final lap.
And don't count out Trevor Edwards there in third. Here comes Jeremy Miller with the dive to the bottom, but he will not clear. Chilcutt will actually manage to clear. Crossover move. Another photo finish here in area trucks beating doors at the line. Miller by 3/100ths.
Oh my gosh, and I think Brad Slaughter just lost out on a ton of spots. I'm not sure where his truck went, but he got in the wall coming out of 4 on the final lap, and I mean, I think he fell back like a rock, but I mean, an unbelievable move from Miller. He sent it deep into turn 3. Chilcutt tried to cross him over, and it looked like he had a good enough run, and then they started beating and banging coming to the line, and they kind of locked in together here.
Yeah, and let's see what that gap is there. They were literally stuck here at the line coming through the tri-hole and literally didn't move about maybe a foot, 2 feet max was that final margin of victory. And Jeremy Miller will start off the chase in the best possible style here at the Chicagoland Speedway. And while he does that, let's go give the final rundown of results here today from Joliet. Miller getting another win here on the season with Alex Chilcutt with a close second. That one's going to hurt for him. Garrett Conrath in third. Grant Brown, a top 5 run in fourth with Jalen Handcap in fifth. Ryan Andrew, got a feel for him, led a lot of laps. Cole Cabry gave it everything he had. Jacob Bell getting another top 10. And 2 swings, Hayden and Chase running out the top 10.
And behind them, Travis Beckner coming up just short of a top 10 finish. He finishes 11th. Bryce Sendesack, a solid 12th. Corey Body in 13th. Josh Parrish, Kyle Taub ran out the top 15. Oberstadt, Pierce, Edwards, Brad Slaughter fell down to 19th after that hit in the wall in the last lap. Ryan Swan 20th. Ryan Swan T-boned, I think it was Zach Carr coming to the white flag, and just unfortunate for him because he had a really good night for the most part, but just could not avoid the carnage.
Absolutely. And this rounding up things, Danny Ware ended up getting up to 21st. And Cody Dempster will be the final of the Chase drivers, and got to get feel for that number 99. He had a good run in the first third of the race, but it did not end the way he would like. Actually, Jacob Harberts He didn't take to the grid here today. He did register for the session. I'm not sure if he'll get points, but he did technically try to sign up and just didn't turn any laps. But we'll head down to Victory Circle, where Jeremy Miller got his second win of the season, the first win since the season opener at Daytona, celebrating with Hunter.
I mean, unbelievable job, Jeremy. Congrats on the win. I cannot even believe how close that was to the line. Take me through your thoughts on that final lap, because it seemed like obviously you had the top 5 truck. It was capable of winning. Just did not think it would be winning in the fashion that you did win. So take me through the final lap of your race.
Yeah, I mean, the last lap was just pure get it as hard as you can, right? We got a lot of yellows there, so the tires were still, essentially stickers. They were just a couple heat cycles with barely anything on them, so just pushing as hard as I can, drove it in there really, really deep into 3 and was able to get clear of him just enough to be on his door coming to the line and have the advantage being the outside car, just able to slow him down.
Yeah, a phenomenal job. This is going to be great for you starting your chase at a championship. Next week we go to Bristol. I'm not sure how well you are on the short tracks, but got to be riding with some momentum heading into that track. So take me through your initial thoughts on the fastest half mile.
Yeah, we're good on the flat short tracks pretty consistently, but Bristol is a track that gives me trouble, so I think just gonna have to try to get a good finish out of there and let this win kind of carry that to maybe instead of falling out of the championship contention, we just fall back to being even with everybody, hopefully. I know Garrett finished right there, Alex finished right there too, and those are probably going to be the 2 biggest competitors for us. I think Travis also somebody has a good shot at it, but he had a bad night tonight, so yeah, maybe a little bit less of a factor now, especially because he started so far back in the seating, but just gotta not wreck, and Bristol's gonna be a tough place to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can confirm after that race, you are now 7 points behind Conrath for the championship lead. Cannot wait to see what the rest of the chase unfolds for you. Congrats on the win, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks, Hunter. I just got to thank FAC Esports, Matt Livers, and 609.
All right, and that is our race winner, Jeremy Miller. We'll catch you next week, man. Congrats on the win, and second place by the thinnest of margins, Alex Chilcutt. Alex, I was talking all race. I'm like, where is Alex? He's running kind of in the middle of the pack all race. The long run, you get yourself up there where it matters, but then the sequence of yellows, and unfortunately losing this one by the thinnest of margins. How are you processing just the totality of this race?
Yeah, I just got it to not win. We had a great shot there, made all the right calls to get in a good position for the end of the race. Nailed all the restarts, but Jeremy just got me at the end there. It was a lot of fun, though.
I mean, yeah, the race was, we had that long green run, and it was just phenomenal stuff. I mean, we saw 2 seconds of fall off, but we saw sliders, haymakers, bottom, top. I mean, was there, were you practicing and saving for the long run? Because that's really where it seemed you were shining.
I'll be honest, there's the spot 24 this week, so I've done 0 practice. But hey, I mean, this is my home track, so maybe the home track advantage kind of paid off there.
Well, can't hurt at all. In a points picture, you're up 3, 19 points back of the chase leader, Garrett Conrath, teammate, of course. Heading into Bristol, any kind of confidence you could take there heading into the short track?
I mean, look at my result at Dover. I should have won at Dover, got a little unlucky at the end, and, well, it's another high bank concrete track, so I'm pretty confident going in there. Hopefully we'll get a good result.
All right, well, we'll see what happens next week, man. Any final words or shouts before we let you go?
Of course, as always, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everyone who runs the league and makes this possible. Shout out Hendry Motorsports Park. Go ahead and check them out, hendryracing.com. Shout out to Travis Beckner for having me on his team.
All right, man. I know you're gutted, but solid performance, and we'll see you soon.
See ya. Thank you.
And then teammate there, Garrett Conrath, sneaking out of third with Hunter.
Yeah, Garrett, solid showing tonight on your quest to go back-to-back and defend your title. Take me through your initial thoughts on the final restart. It just seemed like absolute insanity unfolding in front of you and behind you. I'm not sure if you were a part of the... I could be wrong. I'm not sure if you were a part of the thing with Brad Slarv, but just take me through your thoughts on that final restart.
Yeah, I got a little bit of contact from that, but I survived it. I'm just not that good on short runs with these trucks, and that kind of showed there at the end. I got 8 alive. I still wanted that thing to go green all the way, because me and my teammate Alex, we were going to have, I think, one hell of a battle at the finish. That whole green flag round was so fun. It's just a shame it got ruined by an intent wreck to somebody who wanted to save the race. But overall, just decent day.
Indeed, as we look into Bristol, now you've gotten a couple wins on yourself on some of the more challenging tracks in Darlington and Milwaukee. So how does Bristol kind of look through your vantage point as you look to maintain your points lead?
Well, I don't want to give it away to my competitors, but there's a decent chance I might miss next week because I have something else that came up. But if I do make it, Bristol's one of my better tracks, so I really hope I can make it because it'll be fun.
All right, well, congrats on the podium, and good luck on the rest of the way at defending your title.
Yep, thank you, guys.
Well, that would be major implications if Garrett not able to run, but obviously a chaotic finish to the event here, Hunter, but we saw some absolutely amazing racing throughout tonight.
Yeah, it was phenomenal from start to finish. Kind of seemed like a rerun of last week where we had some yellows in the beginning, good racing in the middle, and then towards the end it got a lot of calamity. So pretty good. I'm not sure what Bristol will entail for us next week, but tempers will be flaring because it's a short track, so the tempers are going to be shorter and they're going to be flaring up more. But an incredible finish from Jeremy Miller to win in the way that he did. He moves to second in the point standings, and if Garrett Conrath can't be there, that's going to open up the championship.
Absolutely. We'll have to stay tuned and find out. But of course, stay tuned till Thursday's broadcast. We'll be back live with the Florida State Builders Pro Series and our other content here on PTR TV. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Also consider following and liking, subscribing on Twitch. $5 a month, custom emotes, double points. Turn those double points into some free merch. But that's going to be Corey and Hunter signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.